So, Mojo, award-winning Wi-Fi. Mojo Networks, we're talking about award-winning Wi-Fi, where we are, where we're going. We have a series of three webinars to do, and we'll cover that off at the end. So yeah, okay. So we've got a lot of revenues within the marketplace. We're all aware that Wi-Fi is growing, and it's, you know, everybody is using Wi-Fi significantly. Wi-Fi is becoming the more and more prevalent access medium to the network nowadays. You know, when we started out, we were talking at 1 megasecond, then we were using WEP for security, and someone talked about roaming and the speeds and the feeds as we grow within the Wi-Fi industry has changed and developed over the years. And the holy grail really is the all wireless office. Everybody would like to have 3 to 5 devices. They want to connect. They want to do voice over Wi-Fi. They want to do their Wi-Fi calling. All the apps and all the devices that are on the network are now critical. We all do the same as everybody else from an access point perspective. We all do transmit beamforming. We all do 802.11 AC wave 1 and wave 2. Mojo is very different from all the others, but we still make the same type of APs. Okay, so I want to get that right first. We do the same APs as everybody else, but we do things totally differently from a software perspective that allows us to be reliable as Ethernet, to allows us to have scale, automation, and analytics. Okay, so we're not just talking about the Wi-Fi anymore. To help us build that, we are 100% cloud-based. We don't have any controllers. We don't send any control traffic off to the cloud. All of our control traffic is kept locally on the APs. The Wi-Fi has to be reliable enough to be the exclusive connection for the network. And when I say that, you know, I look at my laptop here in front of me right now. It does not have an Ethernet port. I have to have Wi-Fi if I want to get on the network, or I have to have one of those silly USB dongles, which most of the time I forget. You know, so, you know, it has to be exclusive. It has to be reliable. It has to be high performance. Mojo Networks puts more memory and more processing power in all of their APs. That's not so much about the radio performance, or as I like to classify it, you know, the road, the transport mechanism. It's about how we work with the Wi-Fi. So we do 802.11 AC wave 2, we do a 2x2, and we do a 4x4. Same as everybody else in the market. Mojo Networks is a very, very secure company. We come from a security background. We are in places that have a no Wi-Fi deployment, have a no Wi-Fi requirement. So we have to be able to enforce that. We do that in a couple of ways, but by using the APs as sensors. With the newer C110s and the C130s, we have a third radio in there that actually allows us to have a dedicated 24/7, 365 WIP solution. We're one of the only companies on the marketplace that can do that currently. And we have to be radically less expensive. So from a cost perspective of our APs, we are cost effective. But as you'll see when we go through the rest of the webinars, you can see how from a total cost of ownership for a Wi-Fi project and managing a Wi-Fi network, we reduce the cost substantially. We don't have to send out as many engineers in vans to fix the silly things that we used to. I mean, I remember a few years ago, I drove from North London down to Dover to type in a pre-shared key into a customer's laptop because he was threatening to rip everything out of the network. It was 2.5 hours to get there. It was 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours to get back home. It was 5 hours out of a day wasted for a 30-second fix. We'll show you how we can fix that, maintain that, monitor that remotely. So I don't even have to get in the car anymore. Okay? So we're being more intelligent about our Wi-Fi. Where are we going with our awards? Mojo Networks is winning some really outstanding awards at this moment in time. Does anyone have any questions on that? I don't see any questions popping up in the question box. I'm assuming everyone's okay. Good. I just wanted to make sure of that. So from a awards perspective, as you can see, we've won the Mobile Breakthrough Award, Enterprise WLAN Solution Provider of the Year. It's not Cisco. It's not Ruckus, it's not Meraki, it's not Aruba, it's not any of the other players. We are winning these awards. A Red Herring Global Award is a very, very interesting award. We were regionally selected for North America, and then we were selected as a Global 100 award winner. The types of company that have won these awards are the likes of Alibaba, Skype, Facebook, Google, etc. So we're actually up there with quite an elite group of people for winning a Global 100 award. We won the Cloud Computing 2017 Security Excellence Awards. So again, reinforcing the security point, where we're going with our security, how strong we are. So this is the Wireless Broadband Alliance. So by the way, guys, all of these awards are independently verified by a group of people. So these are independent people that have nothing to do with us or Cisco or Ruckus or anyone. They're independent people. So we won the Business Wireless Innovation and Excellence Award. We won the Cloud Disruptor from Cloud Computing, which is a great award. In the UK, this one isn't as relevant, but I like to bring it up. Last year we won the Gold Award, which is quite nice. This year we won the Platinum Award. So we've actually dispelled one of displaced one of the big players in this market from the Platinum position. We are now #1 when it comes to the School Planning and Management Awards. This is great for us, okay? We're being really recognized within the industries for doing things that are very different, very disruptive, and very strong, which allow us to actually get into places where we're going. We are actually on the Gartner Quadrant Award. Personally, there's a lot of writing here, but Gartner are basically saying that you should evaluate Mojo Networks for all wireless cloud-based network projects. We can troubleshoot rapidly and resolve issues, which is about the problem with Wi-Fi is how we do that. It's not about the roads anymore. We are very, very secure, as you can see, airtight whips. We're recognized by Gartner as one of the major leaders of security and Wi-Fi. Our licensing model and our hardware purchasing make us very, very competitive in the target markets that we're looking at. And down here, we've got the Gartner docs. And if you actually go off to, and I'll show you this one in a second, the Gartner reviews, we get 5 out of 5 stars for our support, our backup, our everything that we can do to help you guys win and move business forward. These are some of our customers that we currently have, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of retail environments. There's hotels, there's some very scary places like United States Senates. These are the UK clients that we're currently working with very effectively and very closely with. What does it all come down to? It comes down to cognitive Wi-Fi. I need to be able to have the intelligence to analyze in real time why a network is failing, why my client can't get on the network. I've been in the industry for 10, 12 years, and I've sat there in a lot of comms cupboards, and I've sat there on a lot of schools, colleges, enterprise environments, and I've sat there with spectrum analyzers and packet capture tools and tried to work through hundreds of thousands of packets to try and fix something as silly as maybe a pre-shared key failure. We need to find a way of doing this intelligently without wasting time. So if we look here, we can start looking at DNS failures, DHCP failures. And remember, guys, it's not always the Wi-Fi that fails. When you get that phone call saying the Wi-Fi is broken, it's not necessarily Wi-Fi. It could be DNS. It could be a captive portal. It could be a DHCP failure. At this moment in time, you have no real way of telling that. Hang on 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that, guys. So, as you can see, we're building intelligence into the system, cognitive computing, that will allow us to be able to respond and react to the Wi-Fi failing. As I said, the Wi-Fi always gets the blame. It's always the Wi-Fi. If you look at this is what I like to classify as our client journey. We have the association. So, for example, I may have a client that has a capability mismatch. He might not be authorized to get on the network, but I can tell you where he's failing in his journey across the network. There's my favorite thing. Let me just go back there. Sorry, guys. There's my favorite, the incorrect pre-shared key. How many times we've all spent time troubleshooting that? EPOL failures, timeouts. We have DHCP DNS failures, but now we're looking at the network. And more importantly, when we start looking at the association, the authentication is the same as what everybody else does, but we can fix it. We can troubleshoot it. We can cognitively look at the Wi-Fi. We're building networks that we could see the failures on the network. But more importantly, now I'm starting to look at the applications. Because if I'm an enterprise environment and I'm running, let's say, Office 365, I want to be able to know that Office 365 is working the way it's meant to be working. So when we do our other webinars, you will see we explain how we do application performance testing and how we can schedule that. Okay, we're the only people that do that in the marketplace. So what does Mojo Aware give you? What does award-winning Wi-Fi give you that's different? I can tell you when a client fails, I know why the client has failed. I can fix it remotely without me having to send an engineer in a car. It's automated. It's automated packet capture. I can tell you when I've got network latency issues. Because if I've got a centralized AAA server and I've got a problem with the latency on that, I can't authenticate to that network properly. Therefore, the latency is slowing down the performance of the Wi-Fi, but it's not a Wi-Fi problem. It could be a WAN problem. Okay. We get a lot of questions about scalability. We don't have any problems with scalability. Mojo Networks, largest customer in the world, has over 100,000 access points on a single instance. No other company in the world has that scalability. No one. Okay? And they're still building on that instance at the moment. So it's not limited to 100,000, it's climbing. But as you can see here from this client journey, I got 28,000 clients that are associated, but 485 of them have association issues. So I could actually drop down into these clients and see where they're failing. I can work out where the clients are failing on the network. If I selected this box here, it would actually show me a drop down of all of the sites. So this is the top-down view. So if I was running, let's say, a set of academies in the UK, this would be all of my academies, but then I would drop down into each school individually. I would drop down into each building, into each floor, and I'd be able to look at this information, be able to get that and develop that and move that forward. I think this couldn't have been timed better for Mojo Networks. It was just like someone up there said, well, let's give Mojo Networks a hand in the industry. This WPA crack is a security crack, and it's quite a serious thing. And all of the manufacturers knew about this 4 to 6 weeks beforehand, because the guys that found the fix were ethical. They let us know when we found a way of fixing things. But really, on the Wi-Fi perspective, it's one AP issue, and it's the 802.11r. Okay. So it's quite interesting how some of the manufacturers responded to it. One of them actually went, just turn off 802.11r. Well, that's all well and good if you're not running anything that requires 802.11r. Okay, so it's not really a fix. It was a fudge. We actually had a release fixed and sent out by 4 a.m. that morning. Not a problem, straight away. But what's interesting is these are all client-side issues. These are laptops. These are what control the problem. Well, actually, what we did, we already had a fix in place. So if any one of our customers was running C130, C110s with a dedicated third radio, they were getting full 24/7, 365 WIPS protection, which could mitigate this problem. Customers using our older radios would have had a dedicated radio doing a sensor, and we were fixing and mitigating that problem. We're the only people in the industry that did that. So really, it wasn't a problem for us. We were mitigating those issues. We were moving those issues to the side. Someone brought a problem to us, and we'd already fixed that problem. This is where I think our intelligence is going. This is why you need to look at Mojo Networks as being totally different from anyone else. We do the same APs. We do transmit beamforming. We do, we do 11AC. We do the standard stuff that everybody else does. But now what we're doing is we're looking at application testing on the network. If Salesforce is important to my business, I can actually set a scheduled test every morning to go out and test Salesforce on the network. I can do it for Cisco WebEx. I can do it for GoToMeeting. I can do social analytics. I can do VoIP testing. So when we do our voice over Wi-Fi testing, we're actually using a MOS score and an MDI based. So we're doing standards based technologies that allow us to give a company back intelligence on their network that tells them that their voice is working the way it should do over the Wi-Fi. We do internet testing here, where we do speed tests out to Ookla, and we do a Wi-Fi testing where the third radio talks to each other and it does an association test, it does a speed test, etc. So hang on, let me just go back there. What we're saying is Mojo Networks is very, very different. We build the same roads, but we have the cognitive intelligence from a Wi-Fi perspective to look at, troubleshoot, maintain, monitor, and fix problems before they actually happen on the Wi-Fi network. This means that I can actually save the business cost, I can do more intelligence, and I can fix problems before they actually happen, and I can be proactive. When we do our next webinars, and I'll cover those off in those next couple of slides, we're going to go down that path and we will show you live data of a system. Okay, so the upcoming webinars are how smart is your Wi-Fi? And that's where I'm going to start showing you some live data. I will show you live packet captures, spectrum analysis, voice testing, application testing, anything that I can that is different from anyone else. Mojo Networks has a lot of unique selling points. A lot of intelligence has gone into our system to help push that forward. On the February the 1st, we're going to have secure physical Wi-Fi, and then we're going to go into how good our Wi-Fi is from a security perspective. We have patents that allow us to do things in such an intelligent way that there are businesses around the world that are very, very secure that will only select our solution. Okay. Competition time. Let me just open up this. I'm going to unmute you all. Where is your Mojo? For attending the webinar, Arrow, we're going to send you out a Mojo t-shirt. If you can post a picture on it of you wearing it somewhere weird and wonderful. Yes, there have been pictures of people in the pub so far, so it needs to be a little bit more different than that. You get an opportunity to win tickets to the England versus Wales Six Nations Rugby. Full hospitality, so there will be beer involved. I always find that quite useful. The other one that we have going on at the moment is Mojo Networks, the Alexa incentive. Go do a search on Mojo Networks and Alexa. Be careful, there are some quite interesting pictures when you do that, but you need to look at our ones. We've actually got a skill set on Alexa where we can go off and then we can interrogate a Wi-Fi network and it will tell you what's wrong with the network. Okay. So, final slide now. I think this is probably one of the most important ones. Not everything in the world with wireless is that important. So, hopefully you found this useful. Does anybody have any questions out there at the moment? What we're going to do is make sure that the slide deck will be sent out to all people that were on this call. So, guys, thank you for your time. I hope it's been of use. Remember, we've got the other webinars coming up where we'll show you the real intelligence of our system. We'll go a lot deeper. Thank you very much.